I think we're good.
And we're back.
I know. Finally. How long has it been?
Almost a month.
Yeah, maybe a little over than that.
It's a pretty interesting new year.
A little over than that.
I got the vid.
So did I.
So we got the vid. That's why we didn't really get to do it the first week of January.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because that's when I got it. And then you got it before.
I got it right
at the end of the new year. I got it literally starting of the new year. That's one way to start the year.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
you got literally it was right after you were working on the last episode.
Yeah.
That's when I felt it because I was right here. Like I remember I was like,
I
feel lazy. I feel lazy, and I was like, and that's when I was like, I got to do something.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days later, I was like, I guess I got it because I took a take-home test, and I was like, this shit says I got it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, the vid.
Yeah. And then I got it, I would say the following week.
Like when I was done, like then a
Right,
couple days later,
I got it, yeah.
Which is weird, right?
Which is the following week.
I don't even do anything.
Yeah. That's why I was like, well, how did I get this?
It's the vid.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
we're good now.
But we're back with good news. League champs.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I mean,
no, yeah, it was amazing.
I was thinking, obviously, talk about it. So let's see how we can talk about it. So most of the podcast is going to be about it for this episode. I mean, we're going to get into more things that we missed. Obviously, Manchester and those games, FA Cup, and then games coming up. But let's dive in. I kind of want to dive in and see if we can get the schematics of what we know so far from high school soccer in this area. I mean, I feel like our viewers are mostly, people that come from the club, youth club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And some do play. So, I mean, let's get to it. I think, I guess what I'm trying to understand to pick apart from your aspect, it's been 10 seasons?
9 seasons.
9 seasons.
I believe. I want to say it's 9.
So this is the 9th or this is the 10th?
This is the 9th because next year would be a full 10 years that I've been there. And that would be the 10th season. So, because I got there in 2012? Yeah, 2012, 2013. See, that year. Or season, whatever you want to call that.
So I know we talked a little bit, right? We talked on one of our podcasts before the season started, right? We talked about how the season's going to be and what
expectations, stuff like that, yeah.
And I guess in a quick answer, and then we'll get deeper. If you remember what we spoke on, was the expectations there? Was it different? Was it everything you thought it was going to go? I mean, like we didn't plan, like we didn't think exactly this is how it was going to be. But what from the difference from like what we said, if you can remember, to like now winning it?
I think
what is it that is like, just like, basically whatever you think from there.
I would say the expectation going in, because I don't like to go into it thinking, oh, we got this, we're going to win it. It's ours. The expectation was I felt we were going to make a run for it, meaning challenge for it for sure.
Compete.
But the expectation of it was, we like you said, compete and all that. And then now where we're at, I think it surpassed my expectations in terms of how we, the results and everything. Because going into it before, I had my ideas and mindsets of certain players playing and certain players' positions and certain things like this. And then as we get into the beginning of it, players get hurt, players miss out, players don't perform as well as I anticipated them to. So movements came around here and there, and then some players surprised, not expecting them to even really get into the lineup and stuff like that. And throughout the season, it just became more and more, and it grew and grew and grew. So in the beginning, it was good, it was great, and then it just throughout it just grew and grew and grew, and it just started to build more and more. But then we kind of get into league. The expectation of it was feeling it was going to be more, not saying more competitive, but I feel like we were going to be pushed a little bit more in the sense of these games didn't seem like they were going to be easier for us, but it was definitely going to be a challenge for us to really try to get these wins off and pull off some hard, goals in terms of trying to gain those goals. But the way it kind of played out, it seemed like it just didn't. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting us to go 60-some goals and only six or seven goals against all year. I was not expecting.
I didn't either. I looked at it.
I was not expecting.
I was
that.
like, wow.
I was that's beyond my expectations of what I expected because I've been in this for 9-10 years. Even my better team or not better team, but the team that I feel that was just as good or it could be probably even better if I am the way I am now than I was then. That team got scored on in a lot of games and gave up, silly dinking goals and whatever. But with this team, it was like I was expecting at least the goal here and there, but I was not expecting us to get so many shutouts and dominate in the back to the point where I'm midway in the game and I'm like looking at my goalkeeper and he's standing there just like freezing his ass off because it's so cold and he's just bored because he just is not getting any action. So I was not expecting that. That was not. And then scoring wise, I had that expectation of scoring wise, but I did not expect it to be as high as it ended up to be, and to be able to get the goals, the amount of goals that we got through certain games and against certain teams. So just going into it, I had hopes, and I won't say high hopes, but the end result was not what I was expecting.
And I'm gonna have to throw this in here. It's funny because I look at Twitter. And I look at that stuff, and just the certain. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say the dude's name, but like the certain sports journalists for high school and stuff. They mentioned one time they ranked you in the Tribune.
Yeah. The local paper.
The local Tribune. For those that don't know, the San Gabriel Tribune. But apparently it's different. They have Whittier Tribune. They have Preston. Whatever the case may be. It's a Tribune. It's the local paper. Well, it used to be paper. Now it's not anymore.
The local website.
Which is not local because it's worldwide. They just got to type it in. Anyways. I look at this stuff because obviously I follow the team. I shoot for the team. I'm around the team. And I guess what I want to give you the opportunity to say to those that mentioned that it's not a difficult league. But I mean, maybe I don't want to answer for you, but this season was very odd than last season because protocols were in.
Yeah.
And I think in high school, if someone wants to say that this is not a very difficult season when they're doing so well at a certain point, I think in high school, in my opinion, I think certain leagues can tell where someone is completely winning it all, like a Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
But understanding that the quality of players are never changing.
Yeah.
And I've known since you started here that the league has changed that like 3 or 4 times with different teams, right?
Oh yeah.
So what would you say to that?
I don't think in any sport, regardless of who it is, I don't think it's ever possible to say it's not a difficult league unless, I mean, I guess I could retract a little bit, unless you're a wrestling program in terms of league, because they've gone 25 years in a row of winning their league. Hands down, like, I wouldn't, but again, it's not difficult in the sense because it's like the work that you put into these things and the effort and time and dedication to craft what you're trying to build is not easy. So in order to get to that level and to get to that standard, there's a lot of work to be put into it, because you got to remember too that regardless of what happens, everybody's goal set before the start of the league season is to win league. You don't know. We don't know what the opposing team is capable of doing because we don't see them. We don't know. They have their preseason, they play their teams, but we don't know what those other teams are. I've looked at all these leagues around and everybody that's been playing, and some teams have like dominated the whole league. They go undefeated. There's some that they lost one, they tied one, but they still win the league. It's like you just don't know, because throughout the weird thing with this year that I noticed, especially with all, like, I guess you could say the top teams in our division and other divisions that I'm looking at, or teams that have played, competitive teams within different divisions, it's like the cliche of the movie. It's not any given Sunday, but it's any given game in this situation, because we saw a team that beat this team, but then that team beat that team, but then that team lost to this team, and it was just kind of like a triangle of like them kind of beating each other. And it was just like, well, wait a minute, they beat them, but they couldn't beat them, but they beat them. And it's like, it was one of those weird things. So it's like, Well, it was just whoever showed up that day, who was more prepared and who ready to go show up and play. Yeah. But again, and then I think COVID, really kind of played a factor with a lot of some of these teams, because you see one day this team beat that team, and then they go play a weak team. The next week they play a weak team and they lose it, and then you find out, well, half their starters were out because of COVID. They all tested positive, and it's like, well, they got to still play apparently. So there's been situations like that I've seen. Granted, I don't know who managed to take advantage of that, or who was able to manage that well. Some teams did well. Some teams it just honestly.
Well, I mean, in your case, you managed it well because you missed 2 games, right? A week.
I missed a week and I missed 2 games.
So that was difficult. That's what I'm saying is like, I'm just putting it out there. These type of journalists and these people that cover high school sports in the area, I understand that they can't be at every single game.
Oh yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah,
like I get it. And I remember I had a Twitter exchange with this person a couple years back about that, and I kind of like pointed it out. I was like, you're saying things that you're not watching or seeing. Yeah. So I was like, and then I remember the person replied and was like, well, I can't beat every game, which is like, oh, I understand, man. I was like, get interns, get people that would actually want to go watch these things. This is your business as a journalist. It looks like this is surrounded by you, and you control this, like you're ahead of this or whatever. And ever since then, it kind of just gave me like, kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, who's like this guy? Can't be at every game. So how is it to you to see, or what is it when I ask, like, what are you going off? What are these rankings based off? What are these criteria that you go like, hey, this is why they're here. This is because like the whole time they were ranking this Tribune ranking, it's basically from the San Gabriel Valley rank of schools, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at like, okay, St. Francis, and for those that are new viewers and people that come in and like watched our episode for the first time, understand my brother's a coach at a high school in Southern California, and like, so for those that don't know, like what are these schools who are you guys talking about? Yeah. So basically a San Gabriel region valley. Of these schools that were ranked in this Tribune paper. Now it's the website, right?
Yeah.
So when I looked at it, I was like, St. Francis is in Pasadena. Okay, great, cool. And they're in Division 1. And they were ranked in CIF for like the whole season for at least top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, they can stay 1.
Yeah.
Because that's the division that's legit, apparently.
Yeah.
In some way, because it's Division 1.
Yeah.
But then when you trickle down from like after 3 division, it's like, I think it's kind of mixed in, because you played Baldwin Park in their Division 3, and I was almost a win. I saw the game, but it is what it is. We tied, right? Yeah. And then, like you said, these teams were able to beat these teams, and we're like, wait, what? How is this criteria of you putting Baldwin Park that didn't even win league, that didn't even? I don't know if they'll go to. I think they'll probably go to CIF.
They went second. This will be they went 4th.
Oh, 4th.
I think this is the first time ever they're going in as a wild card.
Possibly. It depends, because
on the division.
Certain leagues and divisions, they pick out the best certain team. Like,
they only allow certain.
They might not take the full 3 or the full 4. And there's a league that had a better team than they take all 4, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever the makes, so it's possible that this team doesn't make. But this guy had him ranked at top 5 in San Gabriel Valley, and I'm thinking, I'm like, why is that? Is it because they're finally in Division 3, but they're losing? That does not impress me. You're not at every game. And then he puts on Bishop Ammont. And Bishop Ammont's one of the. I'm not saying the hardest league because I don't know that league, but they go up against basically the top school that's been amazing for the past 8 years, 10 years, Cathedral. Yeah. Which plays schools from out of state. Yeah. Now, if you look at the score and you say, wow, like just looking out the score, you're like, oh, wow, it looked pretty close. Or, oh, wow, like, 3-1, or the second round was 3-2. Yeah. But it's like, well, how did you watch this game? Was Cathedral throwing literally the whole second string in? Yeah. And letting those guys finally play because it was the last season of the game, and like they're legit, they can keep up with the other. So that's what I'm saying, right? Those are the dynamics that I'm trying to see the criteria. And then they have you guys that's ranked 7 or 8 at one point, and that's when they put that article saying like, oh, they're good. Their only blemish was against Baldwin Park, but their league they're not that difficult. But it's like, wait, hold on. Again, what are you watching? What is this based off? Because you guys beat Charter Oak and only lost once. Yeah. The whole season. Yeah. And against Charter Oak, which was a higher division up. Yeah. But Charter Oak lost to this team, like you said. Yeah. Same with Bishop Ammont. They lost to West Covina. You guys beat them twice. Yeah. Yeah. So you get what I'm saying? So it's like, what is this guy at this point? Again, I don't know him personally, but this person I think just goes wherever the hype is at. If someone's getting certain hype, like this school's that division. I'm gonna go to that division, just hype them up all the time and watch
Yeah.
that game. And that's how it was when Ballin Park came. Because I remember you told me one time he came into you. I think it was the second season. Oh, you guys are good. Is that what you remember?
Yeah.
He's saying it like,
Yeah.
like, what do you mean we're good? Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
We're like, what did you say? How'd you guys get so good? Or
Yeah,
something like that. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, what, dude? Like, watch the games.
Yeah.
Like, again, I know you can't be there, but if you're gonna have someone watching the games for you, I think just have a better criteria of a judgment on how to. Because, like, to be honest with you, this Tribune ranking means shit.
Oh,
It's
all of it.
paper and numbers written on,
Oh, yeah.
plastered
Oh,
on
yeah.
it. It means shit.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Because it just really, like, at this point, I don't want to like discredit it majorly, because later on, if you win it all, you're gonna be on that paper or whatever. Like Coach Perez from the football, like
Yeah.
they all did great. But
Yeah.
like in my football wise, I think it's a lot different.
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh, yeah.
actually ranked by the system of powering. Like, I think football is different.
I just think in the sense that they have more people involved to be able to do those things and bring out the, I guess you could say, the stats and all that
no, but what
nonsense.
I'm saying, more of the competition was like, oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that's Division 10,
Well,
that's
no, but
Division 3.
But I'm saying in the sense of like they have more eyes on them to, like how you just said, like this Roman reporters or whatever. But I think when it comes to football and I've seen them, and I think basketball, they have more eyes on there for like, hey, look, this is going on, and look at all this, look at all these videos. With soccer, it's like very minimal to like none teams really record the games or really, not want to say promote, but just like provide any like detailed information.
Yeah.
Whereas with football, you're gonna get everything from the receptions, yards, all that, and on top of that, you're gonna get even videos. And same thing with basketball, you're gonna get all the stats. So that's why I would say, like, I'm not gonna discredit this guy completely, but it's like it just sucks that it's like with football and basketball mainly. They get more detailed in their things and more. It's like they have to, like, they made it a requirement for that sport. Like, you have to take your stats here.
Yeah, you have to be at that game.
With soccer, it's like, oh, who won? They did. What score? 1-0. Okay.
Oh, who
Thank you.
scored? Literally, that's what he does on Twitter. Who scored? Bro, go to the game.
So there's teams like that just don't take any of the time to do that, and honestly, it upsets me at times because it's like, well, wait a minute, we want to go off league and who's MVP, and we want to do this and all these first team, second teams, but it's like we're just kind of going off word of mouth because, in all honesty, I can remember some guys, but not remember everybody that you're putting on there. So it's like, for me, when I watch a game or if I'm playing an opposing team, I'm aware of who their better players are and who we have to slow down, this and that. But when you start just throwing numbers out there, and if he's good enough, I'm gonna be like, we gotta watch for this one, and this, whatever numbers are, and I'm gonna remember those kids because they're that good. But then there's times it's like they put in random players, and I'm like, I don't remember this kid at all. Did he even touch the ball?
Really?
Like, did he? Why do you have him on here? Like, why is this player on here? You need to give me reasoning why. Like, show me something that, like, or describe something for me to be like, okay, I remember him now. So like, there was a year. Even my athletic director, my principal, everybody was wondering how I did this. But this is what I was talking about. This is kind of exactly what I'm saying. Because we didn't do stats. There was a year we ended up 5th or 6th in our league, almost like second to last, because we couldn't win it. Like, we won maybe like 2 or 3 games or 4 games. I can't.
It was
remember.
one season. It was just 3 games.
It was just like it was just a
after
really
the
bad
good
year.
year, right? It was after the first, the second year.
It was way after that. Like, we were good.
Yeah,
good while after that.
yeah.
I had fantastic individual players, but my team just didn't play well together.
Right.
My goalkeeper became MVP of the league.
I remember that year now. Okay.
I had 4 first team players in the league. I had 2 or 3 like in second team, and I had like 3 honorable mentions. We didn't even win the league. We didn't even go to playoffs.
So you won 3 games.
We only won like 3 games. Yeah. But my players made an impression well enough for the other coaches to say, yeah, you have good players. Yeah. It's just the team wasn't good. They just didn't play well together.
Yeah, right.
Which is my point there. It's like, we didn't have stats, but the coaches at the other end knew this keeper's good, this guy's good, that guy's good. We got to stop that. And yeah, maybe they stopped them, but they had their moments well enough for that coach to remember them. And that's how I kind of go about it when it goes to like those things with league and this and that. So like, sometimes they do MVP and it's like, I feel bad sometimes because like a school wants this kid. It's like, well, you did good with everyone else, but with us, you really didn't do anything. Like, I can't really remember you. So it's hard to kind of do that sometimes. So with stats, it makes a bit of a difference because it's like, Mike, like I'll give an example. Mike Forward, I think he has 12, maybe 13 goals in the league.
14. I counted
14 in the league, and I think 14 in preseason. So obviously they're not going to worry about preseason in the sense because it wasn't there. But overall, he has the 28. But in league, he scored against almost everybody except for like one school. So that school's probably really not going to want to vote him because it's like, well, you didn't do anything else. But no. Look at the stats.
Yeah.
If you tell me you have a player on your team that has 20 goals in league, then okay. Then it's like maybe then he should get MVP. But it's like my guy's got the top stats right now. No one else really doing anything. It's like he impressed. So the voting, obviously, if that guy doesn't vote him, fine. But at least the other 4 or 5 schools will be like, okay, yeah, this guy is good. Like we remember him, so we're all gonna give our vote to him because that's what we saw, and the stats kind of shown that. So that's kind of like I get what you're like. I said that's kind of the downfall for our sport when it comes to getting like reported at times. Yeah. It's just who's ever able to provide the content, and at least now because especially with social media. There's a lot of these schools have their own Instagram, and some of them have their own sports Instagram, and like for us, you run it, and then other schools they probably have like one of the teachers that run it, and every now and then they'll show up and do stuff for it. But it's like there's some that have it and that are really good at it, and there's some that have it.
Some that don't even have it at all.
And then there's some that don't have it. Also, you just don't even know what's going on with the school, and they could be doing really, really well.
Well, again, I'm gonna give this to going to similar again. Charo didn't lose as much and didn't have maybe the same amount of games you guys did, and I was wondering why were they ranked only 10th in CIF. But CIF was find a way to notice that. So then I'm thinking like, okay, maybe. Then I looked through CIF from their division, but then on the the Tribune they weren't ranked at all. But they're Division 5, they were ahead of you, and so it's like, again, what is this person watching? Who? Yeah. So again, if they don't have an Instagram, they have no one to report it. They can tell me that it's like, yo, dude, like you just need to get more people to enter or contact the school at least, like someone, because like in my opinion, I just think it's kind of like, what's the word? It's just kind of annoying. It's like these kids, like I don't want to steer too away and get too personal, but here's the reason why I took advantage of the opportunity to do that with your school, with Northview, because ever since I was playing there, I don't know the word. It's not cockiness. It's not, maybe it could be narcissistic, that I enjoyed playing, but I wanted people to notice because when we were playing, or at least when I was playing, that's why I played football. Because everyone already knew what football was. Everyone was always going. But when I played soccer, it's like I really had to tell all my friends, like, yeah, this is what happened. Go to the game. Like, oh, okay, that's all right. Like, I had to tell people, like, this is like, I always thought it was like the same all around in all sports that you go watch and get. No, it's like you have to be a legit program high school to have that already. So, like, I looked at it from that perspective of, like, it's funny because, like, I kind of feels like ironic now. Because I kind of feel most of the kids don't give a shit that I do this. Yeah. It's like, cool, thanks for the picture. Yeah. I'd be like, well, but I would die for this. Yeah. Like, this is the shit I wanted. Like, I was bugging my people at the yearbook, like, where's my pictures? Where are my pictures? Where are my football pictures? Yeah. Like, you took pictures? Yeah. Like, I don't want to confuse people. Like, I felt like I was ahead of the time of, like, I want the notion of noticing all their sports in that sense.
The recognition.
There you go, the recognition.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, when I just started doing it, I was like, you know what, like, I'm just gonna start doing it, just do it. Even when our brother played Ronaldo, it was like, okay, like, he was the only one really posting. It's like funny because it's like, I don't know if I told you, like, these kids don't even post photos. These kids in generation have an Instagram, but they don't post shit. Yeah, so it's like, what?
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because obviously, like, we have all these kids have their Instagram and everything, and if you really go look at their profiles,
they have 3 photos.
It's like 2 pictures, and then one of them's like them in front of a car, and one of them's another one like them at the mall.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Which I'm not gonna dive into social media, but I get it. I also get that part because even Ronaldo does that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like, he does it, but it's like, but I get you. It's like if when I was younger and I was playing and somebody took pictures, like, I wanted those photos. Like, I want a photo. I want to show it. Like, oh, look at these photos.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, so that's the kind of what I'm saying is, like, going towards, I think these high schools, and the realm of, like, what this person is doing is this Tribune. Again, I was trying to get the thought out was that, is he going off? Because he said it, again, that article said that this league is not difficult. But obviously, Max Prep's not even up to date. It just barely went up to date and still wrong. Because Roland's not in your league.
Yeah. Which I had to go and do all that.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, I did
So
all
that's
that.
what I'm assuming. People can do that. It's like
Yeah.
Wikipedia, right?
I think it's like an open platform.
Yeah, it's like Wikipedia in some way.
Because
Okay.
they'll get whatever updates in certain things. Because if you even look at the rankings for our division, there's teams on there that are not in our division.
Yeah, which I noticed that too. That's why I couldn't trust Max Prep as much. Max Prep just has its like I feel like, excuse me, I feel like Max Prep did a system, or what's the word? A formula.
Oh yeah.
A formula to do the website where it can run on its own by a point system or by numbers.
Yeah.
So like saying like if it's tracking, like basically put it on you. If you're tracking your points or your wins, it's gonna already do the formula and put you where you need to be.
Yeah.
Meaning like no one's really running it because it's running itself through you guys.
Yeah.
So like I said, like my whole point here is like, was this person who wrote that article going off of Max Preps? Because all the schools that were at that point when they did the article was that's not the league that you're in anymore.
Yeah.
It was like, yes, it was schools that weren't that great. Like, like I'm gonna say it, Covina, San Dimas, Roland, or someone else, Wilson. Like it's just like schools that weren't doing great at the moment of this season right now. And then it's like, is he going off of this? Because Charter Oak's not in here. This school, Diamond Ranch is not in their different divisions. It's like, what is this person going off of?
Yeah.
And obviously, if I ask, they're not really gonna tell me to probably, I don't know when, but that's what I'm saying. Is like, I think just certain things need to get better recognition and have a better understanding, and that's why I did those. Why I'm doing the Instagram for you guys, at least to like put it out there to show like, hey, like we have a talker team. I think it has a pretty good traction.
Yeah.
On the Instagram, you know, like I think I do the best I can. With like I told the guy, because I even told him when I was doing it, I was like, dude, I'm here. I do this and I do this, and he was like, all right, good for you. I was like, no, but like really, dude, like you can do that. Like get to the games, get people that you need to get to the game.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like even with the social media, there's going to be kids out there that definitely want to get into this field. And even then, if it's like high school kids, that are like looking into that curricular or career of saying, hey, I want to maybe be into journalism, and it's like, okay, well here, come for like this season. And this is what we do. We go to this and do that. Now I know you probably can't tell a kid, hey, you got to go to this game, go to that. But it's like a lot of these opportunities are there for them in order for that to happen, and it would actually probably bring in more kids to want to like either get into those kinds of careers. Because the one thing like in college, they do that for like the physical training kids, like the kids that want to get into physical training. Like if you take the class, the physical trainer comes or tells like a couple of kids, hey, come with us to this game. You're not gonna do all this stuff. You're gonna observe me and see what it's like, and then that kind of gives the kid an idea to say, "Yeah, I really want to do this." Or like, "Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'm ready to do that." Yeah. So then I think it's good in the sense for them to get that glimpse of what the career really is, as opposed to like telling themselves, "I want to do this. I want to do this," because even like nowadays, even it's like COVID, even before COVID, but now even after COVID, people have come in and like. Yeah, I studied this whole career for like X amount of years, and as soon as I got into it, I hated it. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I went back to school and did a whole nother career. It's like, Jesus, like, and like there's some internships out there, but I think some of them take advantage of the internships, and then there's others that it's like really beneficial to them because in the sense it's like, all right, I see what I got to do, and I see what it takes to get there. I'm gonna keep going, or it's like. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't want.
Well, in other cases too, like shout out my boy, happy birthday to Sue.
Nobody cares.
It's Cristiano's birthday.
Nobody cares.
Stop.
Nobody cares.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, what I was gonna say is going off of what you were talking about of people like saying, oh, I don't know, that's too much. I think the matter of just doing it.
Oh yeah.
Because like I think about it, if I never did it. There would have been Instagram. There would have been recognition. Yeah. I honestly think, again, I could be wrong, but I honestly think in some way the Instagram has helped in some type of way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know exactly what, but I think in some type of way of like, okay, they know there's a program. They know there's team. Like they look like they're good enough now. There's like, there's, I guess I feel like they're like, oh, there's more interest in that program. By just doing it.
It's helped. It's given it more recognition in the sense for not necessarily for the kids that are on the team, but players that have been on the team. Because I get messages from former alumni people that are like, hey, man, how are you doing this? That's great. I saw this and I saw that. I was like, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Things like that. But I've noticed that more in the last maybe 2-3 years that previous players have obviously followed it and just come across it or just get a glimpse of it or whatever, and they just, see it. And then every now and then I've had a couple that have shown up to the games, because they just see, the game's this day. I'm not doing anything. Let me go stop by and just watch for a little bit and then, head out. So in a sense, it's just giving it more of a spotlight, and just saying like, hey, look, this is what's going on. You're interested in come check it out. If not, at least they're aware of it. So there's always now an opportunity for someone to be like, I wonder how the team's doing, because I'm sure there's previous players that played wherever high school that they were at, or they always every now and then want to hear about it and say, I wonder how they, when I played there, whatever. I wonder how it's going and this and that. And then they'll just look at the Instagram and it just happens to be there.
You know what's really, really funny? I just came to my mind is how obviously the time has changed since I've been there. I was always looking at the Tribune, the paper. I was always the next day a game was over, like from my football game or even the soccer game. Yeah. I was always go to I forgot Rice was one of them. Yeah. He always had the Tribune. I would always ask him to get an extra one. You got one? Like I would just that was my Instagram to look at the teams. Yeah. That was my Instagram to see what are we ranked? Oh, that's cool. We're ranked this. For real, like I really kid you not. And I could be wrong, but I feel like none of your players give a shit about that. Like, I don't think one of them's like, yo, coach, we're ranked this. Do you have like
very few, right? Like there's some that like they so
hold on before you go there. Let me just finish because when I was doing it was I remember Hector, me and him would be always on it, like, yo, bro, like we're ranked. What school? Where's South Hills at? Where are we at? Like I came on the paper. Look, my name's on the paper. Yeah. Like it has my stats. Like they're like we were on it. Yeah. With all of us within each other, but I really feel now it's like, all right, cool, it's there. Yeah. It's like, all right.
There's a few that kind of come across, like they'll look at other Instagram because it's Instagram now, and again, and this is where like we were talking about earlier. Kind of the issue is it's like we have it, but then when you want to go look for somebody else, it's not there, and it's like
the athletic team.
So you don't know what's going on. And then the other thing is it's like it goes for the newspapers anymore. So it's like they don't put everybody, and even if in that, and even with the reporter, the journalist now doesn't put everything. So it's like you still can't even find the group or team or the league or whatever it is that you want, the information you're trying to look for, because it's just not there. And I think that's the tough part with all this. It's like, yeah, one school's doing it, but it's like the rest of them don't. Which is I go back again with the stats thing. It's like we're doing all this, but no one else wants to do their part for it, which sucks because it's like
you used to have a stat person.
I would get students to help here and there and this and that, and it's like I still kind of once in a while if they want to, but every now and then I just get like
I feel like you just do it now.
It's just me now. I just go from memory. Right? I go from memory, and then I'll just message the boys like, "Hey, do you guys remember who scored?" and all that stuff. So I kind of go off of that, but it's like. Yeah, some of them will come like, "Hey, coach, you see we're ranked this and this and that. Or did you hear so and so lost and so?" But they find their information. The way they find their information now, and I think it's becoming more common, is because a lot of them have teammates at those other schools.
Right, because
they're club players. So it's like they're club players, and then they find out, oh, my teammate plays at South Hills. My other teammate is going to Charter. My other teammate is going here. So then they hear about it, like, hey, my teammate just told me they beat so and so 2-0 barely. Da, 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 da. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. That's our way, I guess, of finding out that information. So that's just how it is now. Like it's like kind of like how you just mentioned.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah, it's insane. But it's funny you say that too, because you're just mentioning Rice. I went and saw him the other day, and he congratulated. Hey man, congrats, champ, and all that stuff. So it was cool. And then he goes, "I didn't know you guys were playing yesterday. Somebody told me you guys were playing today, which was Thursday." And I was like, "No, dude, it was Wednesday." I was like, "Dude, just text me. Like, you have my number. I was like, you can ask me." He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna start asking you from now on." I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, dude." I was like, "You know, I'm gonna respond." He goes, "When I found out that you guys were playing, he goes, I couldn't because I was over here and doing this." He goes, later that day, he goes, "I was on Twitter. I was just like refreshing, just trying to figure out what happened if you guys won or lost." And then I was like, "Dude, you're like an eye view of what's happening."
Your classroom is right there, bro. Stick your head out.
I told him, like, Rice, from where you're standing to right there, you could see. He goes, but I think I left her because it was well over 5, and I think he's there till like 4. And I think he already went off to take his kid like to practice or something. And he was telling me about it. I was like, and then he goes, "I thought it was today." And I'm like, "No, it was yesterday." He goes, yeah. He goes, "I finally found that out." He goes, "Well, congrats," and this and that. But when funny how he said, like how you were saying, like you want to check the paper. He was like Twitter refreshing, like, damn, are they gonna give it? But see, and then we go back to that again. It's like trying to find that information, you know.
Well, so times change, and I get it. But again, to end on that note of the article and all that, I just think it is what it is. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to discredit it because towards the end of it, he does a pretty good job of picking the people who deserve Coach of the Year or Player of the Year or San Gabriel. Like I feel like that looks like it takes time and they do their stats and they grab like as opposed to again. I understand it's like you're telling me I gotta watch soccer, basketball, wrestling all in one night.
Yeah,
obviously. Again, I'm gonna give you that, but at the end of the day, if you really want to put effort into it, it's just a matter of effort of contacting other people. Of like, hey, do you want to stay in touch with this?
Yeah,
let's put this. You know what I mean in that sense. But when I saw the article, it was just more like, nah, man. I was like, what? You gotta watch the games, bro. Like I appreciate being 7th. I think it was the highest he ranked us, and after that, I didn't really see it anymore. But again, the other teams, when I was just like, I don't know, we played Baldwin Park. I was like, I don't know. I was like,
yeah.
But then again, like I said, I just leave it at that. At the end of the day, everyone's different divisions, and that's why it's like hard. It's not like it's the NCAA and the Division 1, like they're all ranking.
Yeah.
It's like they're ranking all the divisions together. Where it's like you can't really. How is like Northview? Like again, Northview can be 7, but how is Charter Oak not even ranked when they're Division 5?
Yeah.
And they're in Covina. So it's like, wait, dude, like you have to rank them too. Like, why not? Like, you know?
Yeah, I feel like
because there's more than 10 schools in the San Gabriel Valley that I think did well.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about that. But I just still think I feel like most of it is either word of mouth from whoever they hear it from and whatever information he's able to contain, and just off of like Max Press, because Max Press is generally the main resource of high school sports. So there's no really other outlet that you input information for the high school sports. There's no like there's ESPN and there's like the other stuff, other Fox Sports. Yeah. There's other providers of sports in the sense to put input like information. But for high school, it's just like Max Prep is the main one. And if it's there, it's somewhat in the sense legit. I would say like 80% of it like legitimately there, like correct.
Right.
Whereas anybody can go in there and just randomly put scores and numbers, and the accounts for those sports are managed either by a coach or an athletic trainer or by nobody at all, and then just whoever wants to do it.
Yeah, like you just said how you did that part.
Yeah, so like for me, there was coaches in the past that before me were kind of doing it, and there's some that never did it, and then when I came in and I found out about it, I was like, oh, then that's when I started to do it and do it myself, because I was like, well, nobody does this, so I'll just do it myself. And that's generally how it kind of started, with all the finding out who had the most goals, minutes, playing, assists, all the who was on the team, all those things. I started inputting all that stuff myself and just doing it just so that way it's there and we can give recognition to these kids, because aside from me, it's like no one else was really going to pay attention to that or do it. And the only reason why I honestly kind of did that is because I just remember in high school, before in the locker rooms, they used to have all these things on the top of the walls that were like, I guess you could say like the records. It was for like, some of it was football, some of it was track.
Oh, that old like blackboard with the white letters.
So they used to have stuff like that. I remember, I think I saw a football one. It showed somebody had like the most rushing yards, passing, and I just saw like sports, and I saw track, and I saw everything. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, I wonder how you could get up there. Like, I was just kind of like looking at it, and I throughout the years, I later on found out about Max Prevs, and then I was like, okay, some of it's in there, and then it's like, well, this is probably the best resource that I can use for these kids in order for them to get some recognition for their hard work and accomplishments that they have throughout their years.
Right, I agree.
It's
like, again, I agree, and it's only much that we can do. Like I said, you do as much as you can to put their stats. Yeah. I put out the content as much as possible. But again, it was just one more time. Just that article was just more like, I don't know, dude. Like, you really got to go to all the games. But again, I'm like going against someone that can't be everywhere at once. Which I get. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But let me go into pack back towards you. I'm more curious and understanding, because I don't think I've ever asked you this, because obviously it's the first time you ever won league.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my question, my how do I put this? basically, give me your mindset going into this finally, like knowing like leading up towards the game, like it basically was like a final. It was a final for you for the first time ever at Northview ever to be in this situation. How did you feel waking up? What thoughts were in towards the game, the middle of the game, and then what just went through your mind at that moment?
Well, I guess you could kind of go back well, I wouldn't say it had started that day, because it kind of went back until that week, honestly. Because last week the build up to it was we still had to go through certain teams in order to get to that point. And we knew if we don't win all these games to that game, then everything all of it wouldn't even matter anymore because we would have lost. So just the build up to that was, I think after that game, the first loss, I think everybody was just anxious to get to that day.
Okay.
Because every game after that, it was just more of, let's go win. All right, we're done. Let's go. End the day. Let's go to the next.
That's how it felt.
It just felt like that, because even the West Covina game, I could see it. It was just more of everybody's just kind of running with their head, like a chicken with their head cut off, and just wanting to get through the game and just be done with it and move. Like they didn't care if it was a 1-0 and 2-0, whatever it was. They wanted to get the win. We want to focus on.
They want the
last
rematch.
We want that rematch. That's all they want. Like that's what it seemed like, the build up to just the anxiety and just anxious just to be in that day. And then the same thing was kind of like leading into the practices and stuff like that.
Hold on. I know that, but give me also, while you're saying that, give me how you felt from that too. Is that how you felt?
Yeah,
too? Did you feel that like, I want that game too right away?
It was that, yeah, because it was just like we already played everybody. So we knew what we were capable of after that. We knew even that loss, we knew we should have been the better team and we should have ended up winning that game. Like that was just the feel and thought that I had, and feel and thought some of these guys had, because granted, yes, we made a mistake, got sloppy, but then the rest of it, we picked it up. It just became more frustration because we knew we were better than what we were displaying.
Right.
And then after that, okay, the game's over, lost. Everyone's upset. Everyone's down in the dumps. And then the next game, the first game against Covina, you could just see the morale and the attitude and the body language was like, okay, we're gonna win, but just can we just get this over with? Like, all right, goal. Okay, we done. It was like that's what that game was. Like, it was a bittersweet win, because even after the win, that was probably the first. I want to say first, but like one of the wins that, not that it felt like a loss, but didn't feel like we won. Because we won the game. We knew we were going to win the game, but it was just like, we didn't care. We didn't care about that win. We just didn't want that one.
Interesting.
And like you could just see it amongst everyone's eyes and the body language. Like you just see it, because some guys look frustrated. And then the next game, which was the San Dimas one, I think that one really lifted the spirits in terms of the way we won that game. So the spirits kind of just got picked up. And then we go into Diamond Ranch. And I think that one really pushed us over the edge on it, because we knew what they were capable of. We know how aggressive they are and how competitive they can be against us. And that was probably by far one of our best games we've played all season in terms as a team. And we just dominated that game. So that kind of just like boosted them even more. And then the West Covina game, that was like, we knew how we played them the first time. And we knew that we should have beat them even more the first time than we did this second time. So that game was just more of an anxiety game of just like, okay, 2 goals, boom, it's done, let's go, finish it, let's go. We want to get out of here. We just want to win and get out of here. We want to focus on the last game. And sure enough, once that game ended, then the next, obviously that day, you could just see it. Okay, it was just everybody was just the spirit, the mentality, the body language. I've never seen a more focused team in all the years that I've coaching than that day.
It's like the spirits, they got me.
It was like they were just locked in.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted, was for that first whistle to blow and go and play. And that they wanted nothing else other to do than play that game. And as the game went on, I think the nerves kicked in a little bit, in the sense of this is actually happening. It's finally here.
Now again, the way you're saying it is also describing how you feel.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, because the feeling I had, and it was, if I want to say it fed off to them, but it felt like we all were connected and linked into what the goal was at hand. We all knew what the goal and the challenge was that was in front of us, and I felt the same way. Because even that day, I was just like looking at the clock, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m.
Closer and closer.
I'm just like, oh, can it be like 1 already so I could just get ready and go? Like it just like that's what it
Anxious.
felt like. I was
It was
just
so
anxious.
anxious.
I just wanted to get to this game already.
Get
That's
it.
all I wanted.
Get it.
I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to get to this damn game.
Yeah.
And then once we get to the warm up, like I didn't even like nothing against my seniors. I even told them like I don't want to do the senior night. Let's do it after. I want us to focus on this game. Like I don't want us to do the announcements. Senior this. Senior, let's do it after. I was like, I just want to get to the damn game. But then I'm like, shit. If I do it after the game and we lose, it's like fuck. Like no one's gonna really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So like you know what? No, screw it. I was like, yeah. So I told her like what we're gonna do before the game. We'll do it before the game. We just got to start the warm up early. We got to get a good warm up, and then we'll do it like 10 minutes before the game. And sure enough, that's how it planned out.
Yeah.
But I think in a way, it kind of, I would say I wouldn't say it hurt us more than it helped us, nor did it help us more than it hurt us in the sense. Like I don't think it really made any much of a difference.
I don't think so. Sorry, real quick. It felt like it just felt like it happened. Like they had the senior thing.
Yeah,
Like,
they just did it. It was good. Okay, we're done. All right, let's get to the game.
Yeah.
And then once the whistle blew, about first 5 minutes, a little bit of anxiety, just kind of like nerves here and there, and then we started passing. And I think when that first opportunity came, then it's like, all right, cool. We got the shot. We got a couple touches in. All right, let's play. Let's just play. And then I think just little by little, just one team was becoming the more aggressive team. We just became the more, how do you call that?
Technical?
No, not more conservative. We were more conservative in the sense.
Like both of you were.
I at some point it seemed like we were more conservative in the sense, and then we got anxious just to kind of get the ball going and try to go get that goal right away because we also knew in the term was to really win all this, you got to win 2-0 in terms of the head-to-head and all that stuff. That was the mindset there. So that was the things everybody wanted to. We just wanted to score. We just wanted to score the first one, and then we knew we'd get the second one. So the first goal never came, and then the anxiety of it just kind of just kept coming over, and it's like we were overdoing our work and doing what we were supposed to do. And then sure enough, halftime came, and we had to settle it down. I just had to bring them back down, had to calm their nerves, get them back into the game plan, get them back into the mindset that we're here to just win the game. Let's just focus on winning the game first, and then whatever comes after, we go for it. And sure enough, second half we came out. That was the mentality was, let's play our game, let's try to get the goal, but let's just focus on winning the game. Let's not focus on the score. Let's focus on. And I think for me, the mistake I made probably was that telling them throughout was in order for us to win the league, we have to win 2-0. So the mentality for them was,
shit, we got to get the 2.
We just got to get those goals. Don't care how we get it down there and let's score. As opposed to let's play the way we play, which is what helps us get to those goals. Right. So second half was cleaned up far better than it was in the first half. We just couldn't put it away, and we had so many chances to really put the nail in the coffin, and it just wasn't coming. It wasn't coming. And then it came overtime. And overtime, it seemed like they didn't seem defeated, but they felt like that was our chance to really win it in the full time. Now we got to go try and hope we don't F this up in the overtime and lose it here because it's one goal and that's it.
Yeah.
So I got it back to him again. Just focus on winning the game. Nothing else matters. Win the game. Play our game, but win the game. That's it. Nothing more. And sure enough, we almost had it. Probably like in the first 30 seconds, we had an opportunity. I think we missed. And then it just kept coming. And I just told them, it's bound to happen, boys. It's gonna happen. It's in the cards. It's right there. And just little by little chipping away. First overtime, nothing. And I think the first overtime was the last 30 seconds. We had a great opportunity and
inches.
And we just missed it by inches. And it just like, so then second overtime came. And for me at that point, when second overtime came and it was like 1 minute in, 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, 4 minutes in, it started to feel like this may not happen. It started to feel like as much as we try, it just may not happen for us today. It may not be. I didn't obviously tell them that, but it was just like that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That was what I was like. Not telling myself, but just thinking and like, is this really not going to happen right now? And then I would say it was about maybe the fifth, sixth, maybe sixth or seventh. I can't remember exactly, but the opportunity came, and then sure enough, I see my player go in. He pokes the ball away. My center mid's right there in the middle of the penalty spot, puts it back in, and it really felt like that whole moment felt like a slow-mo moment where like if you ever watch like those sports movies when it's like everything just like goes silent. That's literally what it felt like. And then it just went in and it just erupted and then we all just ran out there and it was amazing. It was unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it. It just
Couldn't believe it.
I just couldn't believe it. I was at a loss of words after all that. I just wanted to just celebrate with my boys and just celebrate and just enjoy that moment with them. And then once it finally all hit,
The emotions.
the emotions came out. The emotions came out because it finally made the realization that we won our first ever league title in the history of our program. And I've been there for this was my 9th season, almost 10 years now. And to actually gone through the program, to see you play, to coach Ronaldo, to see Caesar play when I was a little kid, and to see how close every single season was, not only for him, for you, for me, for Ronaldo, how close that program always was to winning, and to just miss it by something, and just see the devastation every single time. Like it was just a big relief to finally, how do I put it, like give all of those players in the past the satisfaction that our program finally did something.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it felt like. Like that was the relief that it wasn't disappointing because even if we lost, we wouldn't consider the season being disappointing. It just felt like disappointment in the sense that we were right there again, and yet we didn't do it if we lost. But it's because we did it. It's like it just felt like everybody won in that sense. Even past players that.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I felt. I mean, because I've been a part of the team, right?
Yeah.
Like shooting you guys and being around you guys so much. I want to say emotional, but I got the feeling of like I was part of this history. I was part of it because, like you said, we've played there.
Yeah.
And like I said, whenever I wanted to play there, I wanted the recognition. Like to even see, like I said, like to even see that many fans or that many people there at the game.
Yeah.
Even that alone to me makes me like, wow, it's changed so much.
Yeah.
And to, like I said, that moment, I just had to run and celebrate, and it was just like, it was just something that just came like I told you, like I couldn't shoot the game.
Yeah.
I was trying my best to shoot this game, and it's like I'm so drawn into it because I've been through this type of I've been in the program. You know, I've been to this school. Like it's something that we have still. You know, like we went to this high school. We want you know, because you're coaching there.
Yeah.
It's something that I want for you. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like. That's why it was so hard, and I know when I got a little too aggressive with the card that they got. I was just it reminded me when Ronaldo was playing again because I'm so emotionally invested because you guys are there.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to just being an alumni coming by and watching. You know, for me again when that moment hit, I was just like, it's in.
Yeah.
And I'm like waiting for a call, and everyone just ran. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but yeah, no, I mean, to hear that coming from your perspective, it's wild. It's awesome. You know, to even look back at 9 years and the day you got it, how excited you got the position to be the coach.
Yeah.
The way you got it, like you said, you posted on your Instagram saying, I was expecting the girls team, but you know, they handed you the boys team, and just to see that is one thing I want to mention. It's to just people in general, like. This day and age, I also feel like some people, even though I had this in some feeling of things of like quick turnaround when you start something or do something. Everyone expects it to happen right away.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And in some ways, no, they don't understand that life doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't work like that when you really grind with human beings in a passion of something.
Yeah.
There's build up, there's work put into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel that all that 9 seasons was into play to this. Like it was helping it build all the way into this.
Oh yeah.
Even though there were times where we were like, oh, Baldwin Park's always winning it. Or who's winning it the first year that they're gone.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who won it.
Covina, I think. Our rivals.
The year after?
Yeah.
When they left?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was once when they were in there. is when they
No.
left.
No,
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
They actually had some good players,
Yeah,
right?
they had some
And
good
a
players.
decent coach, you said.
Yeah, the coach that they had there was pretty
Right.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's when. So yeah, even they won it for the first
Yeah.
time. I think I don't know their history.
I don't remember.
I don't know
if it
their
was the
history.
First time, to be
but
honest with you.
anyways, again, just to see that, and then when like, okay, they're not good, and then out of nowhere, like, what the fuck, San Dimas is good?
Yeah,
like, we're
yeah.
like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't catch a fucking break.
Yeah.
So I just felt like, again, being a part of it and being around the game the team around since you've been there, it's just one of those like, just like, I don't know what I'm saying. I guess you could say it, weight off your shoulder in some way.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
it's
it was
like-
just the I wouldn't say it was just the pressure or anything. It was just a sign of relief because it's
It's like
like
Kobe said, the monkey off my back.
yeah, because it's
Because
like
we've been so close.
we've been so close so many years, and it's like I knew this was gonna be a long-term thing. It wasn't something that was like, okay, I'm gonna get it next year. You know, when I first got there.
Yeah.
I mean, as close as we were the following year, I was not expecting us to be that close
Me either.
that year.
That was
But it's like, because even everybody asks me like, do you think you would have won it back then with what you know now? I'm like, yeah. Like, if I knew what I know now, that second year, I'd probably go undefeated.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because I'm like because like I've evolved in the terms of how we play from the first time I've coached there to now. Like I just remember that I think it was one of the years. There was a year where a couple of guys that graduated came to watch the first game against Covina, and I remember we played that game like Barcelona. Like we built out of the back. We passed. The possession was literally 80-20. We only won the game 2-0, but we dominated that game with solely off possession. At the end of the game, all the like alumni guys that came to watch, there's like 5 of them. They're like, why couldn't we play like that last year? I was like, because you guys didn't want to play like that. Like, you guys weren't capable of playing like that last year. So it's like I've learned all these things in the terms of like the 9 years that I've been there and grown obviously as a coach to learn things to better the teams that I have, to the point to now bring in a system and a culture for it to be that way and for the kids to want to play that way. And it's like, if I knew that obviously then, or what I know now, if I knew that then yeah, I think I would maybe have more successful seasons or maybe better chances at league or this and that. But it's just like a detriment of what I've been able to do in the terms of the years that I've been there and the dedication and passion that I put into it. That, yeah, I knew eventually at some point it was going to happen. When? I didn't know, but I just knew I couldn't leave there knowing that I didn't do enough to try and do it and even accomplish it.
yeah.
To the point where it's like, I've accomplished it. Great. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to leave next year and fucking retire, but I want to keep going, obviously pushing for more in the sense of not just winning it once, but creating, I guess you could somewhat say, a dynasty in the terms of we're a team now in the area that's strong enough to compete with everyone and always challenge and always be one of those top 1 or 2 teams.
Right, and I think you can also set yourself goals off of this and evolve off of this, and so basically what I was saying, you can build off the win of winning league and building off of that and evolving to now, I'm not saying expectations, but to reach more of the goals, to reach CIF potential consistently, to reach the treble, fucking state possibly. You know, I'm gonna be honest, like I never thought Northview would go to state in football.
Oh yeah,
And they did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
amazing.
So it's like one of those things that's like, it's possible. It's just, you just need that, you need to get over that hump and try to, your best way to, like I said, evolve off of that and grow off of that big win, because it's all those things are possible. Now that now that we know that what has happened,
and
what I mean? And I think, like I said, it doesn't happen. These things don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why I don't understand with that article still to this day, or right now, it's like, again, for some schools, it's not easy. Even though the record looks like that off the bat, I still don't think it's that easy. Like for me, easy in high school. Again, for me, easy in high school is when you're playing. Again, no real disrespect to these type of schools, but it's if you have a whole league of like a Baldwin Park or you playing against literally the last 5 teams in Division 7 of soccer, where you're killing 14-0 every game.
Yeah.
That's weak to me. That's not competition to me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying when they say that. It's like, no. Like, you got to describe it. These kids have certain players now, and it's evolved the way you've said it before. these players are playing club now.
Yeah.
You know, even more than before when Ronaldo got there.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, even when I was there, no one was playing club. You know, and club has evolved and stuff like that, and we spoke on it. But yeah, that's my feeling that I think it is possible. I think the fact that you can able to do that, I still believe you guys can go pretty far coming up, and we'll get to that. But yeah, getting off a win like that, I think it's always a possibility of keep going and reaching yourself, putting new goals on your team.
Oh yeah,
new expectations or just new goals going on to new seasons now. Understanding like what you have and what we're capable of now, and we've been there before now for that sense of like, okay, like again, it's almost like Kobe said, like get the monkey off my back.
Yeah.
In some way of like, finally. Yeah. It's there. We got it. It obviously wasn't fucking easy. And again, to this day, I don't care what anybody says. It was not easy at all. And the moment, again, is just everyone that was invested in the way you are, like to your coaches and me being around you guys, it felt like a great win.
Oh yeah. It was amazing.
You know, and I don't care. Again, to this day, and I tweeted it or I posted it. To this day, I still would consider you guys main solo champions just because in soccer terms, it's like you have the most goals. Right?
Yeah, and I think I'm going to argue that because I don't think there should ever be a co-champ in anything
at all,
ever. Because you have the numbers at least in the terms of the points. Well, like just goals and all that stuff. Like at least in the scoring was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you put up goal differential, then you're telling me there's a difference of goals.
Yeah.
But if you don't put that, and you just put win, loss, and ties, and that's all you're going off of, then that's all you're going off of.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it, I was like, you only had 3 goals against you the whole league.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you had like 20 something goals, and they only had like way less. Like so, it's like to me, it's like no, like we're the better team.
Yeah. Yeah.
They beat us, 1-0. And we beat them 1-0, but like we had more goals still against all the other teams. And if you're able to talk to whatever committee you guys are going to talk to, I think, it's a major like discrepancy of like having that. Like it's just this doesn't make sense because like at the end of the day, like you look at the pros, and obviously not pros, but like the system works.
Yeah.
If they have more goals and they have the same points, but they have more goals and they beat them at the end of the game, like even looking at that, like their last game was a loss and your last games were all 5 wins.
Well, the year we're just going off pros. The year Man City won the league, they were tied with Man United, but the reason why they got it is because they had the goal difference.
Right.
And I'll never forget the quote what Sir Alex Ferguson said after that game, that last game for both of them, after the interview, saying, somebody asked him a question along that, and he goes, I'll tell you right now. He goes, we're not going to lose next year, and we're not leaving it to goal difference. I'll tell you that right now. And next year they go and win it by like 10, 15 points. Yeah. They cleared it out from that get-go, which is awesome, which is probably part of the motivation which I may put into for next year. Like, you guys won the league, but you won 9-1. Or you won the league with 9 wins, 1 loss. Now, don't leave that to chance this year. You win it fully 2-3 games maybe before, and we secure the win even earlier than having it coming down literally to the last second overtime, the last minutes of the game, of the death and all that stuff. You know, like we don't leave it to that anymore. We leave it to we win it early on and just take care of business from then on. Like that's kind of that will be once this is all over for the next season. That will be like the challenge in the sense.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I feel like I'm going to come from a different angle. And here's the reason why. Obviously, first, it's high school. And second, I am understanding where you're coming from. Like in the pros, like right now, Man City looks like they're going to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, because Liverpool's coming up. They got 9 points ahead. It's possible for them to lose 3 games. City. Yeah. You know, it's possible.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I think I'm going more off of the end of it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you guys both had the same record, 9-1, in high school, I don't think, in my opinion, you should win it that early. Again, I understand where you're coming from. But I don't know if that same excitement would be there at that game.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? So I do want that excitement, and people want it still, like, even the kids maybe. Like, they want that.
Yeah.
But in a sense of, well, like, how do I put it? I think I'm going off of, like, because there's no tiebreakers, there's no penalty. Everyone's asking, are they going to penalties? It's like, no, they're not going to penalties. No. This is not a playoff. So it's like, I understand where they're coming from now. It's like, well, what happens? Like, who wins? Like, so I would just try to simplify it in a sense of like, yeah, like look at the league, look at the stats. That again, if you want to go off of max preps and how everyone's tracking everything, at the end of the day, you guys had the least goals scored on you, and you had the most goals scored.
Yeah.
And if you look at the second team behind that, it is this team, and you go off again. I said earlier, they're good as their last game. You won all 5 at the end, or all 4,
5,
and they lost their last game.
Yeah.
Meaning like the tracking it says losing streak or winning streak.
Yeah.
You know, and then again you have the points, which is the goals.
Yeah.
But again, if they're going off of ties and losses, and it's like, okay, then what's the fucking point of scoring goals?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point going again with the whole stat stuff.
Right. Yeah. So again, I get that. I mean, again, I understand, like, again, but for me, since you only have 5 teams in your league, or 5 teams you're going to play against in the league, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, well, we can win it the first half of the season if we would beat everybody, and everyone just beat each other once or twice.
Yeah,
in some sense, unless something drastic happens.
Yeah, but then you'd have to go, well, because I'll tell you this, that actually happened one year with one of the teams. They won all their games the first half of it, and then they went and lost like the next 2 and 3, whatever, and gave the teams that lost in the first half an opportunity to go and win the league, and then they ended up like, they didn't even end up winning the league in the end. It was like somebody else won it. But that has happened. That has happened where a team won all, like, well, not St. Charles Road, but it was years ago. They went like 5-0. Everybody thought like, oh, well, this team's gonna win it all, and then like the next 2 games they lose 2, and then they tie 1, and then they lose another one, and then like a team that only lost to them ended up winning more, and then it just became that. So that's generally how it kind of works and goes out. So, but there has been teams that won it with like 2 games left because everybody else kind of beat each other.
Yeah, and
they were not getting beaten by anybody.
Right.
So there's been situations I've seen that's in the league that I've been in has happened where somebody won it with 2 games left.
Either way, you're right. There should not be co-champs at all in sports. Yeah. In general, like, they're gonna come down to, okay, there's your points. You guys have the same record, but they have more goals.
Yeah.
So who's the better? They did because they scored more. So when scoring goals and playing the games, it matters. Basically, making all the games matter in a sense of like scoring goals, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, cool, we got 2 ties, but we win 2 more. Like that's why when we talk about football and the way the league is in high school, it's like, you guys only have 3 teams are playing in this league right now, so you could just win 2 games and you're in.
Yeah.
So that's So that's what I'm saying. So that's kind of hard if you guys have 5 teams, like, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your guys' league is the only league that has a total of what, 6 teams?
No, there's others that have more.
No. But yours, I'm saying, I think is the least. I think a lot of other leagues have like more than.
There's
6.
some that have smaller. There's some that I've seen that have 4.
I haven't come across
a lot of
them.
the smaller schools. It's either the smaller schools or the schools that are out towards the areas, the desert areas where it's like there's only 4 schools.
Past Ventura, where
there's some schools like that have leagues that only have like 4, because their schools are just so far apart, and it's like that's just the only school.
And that's the thing where again, going back to the whole competition and watching every game, it's like you said, like they could win the whole league, but then you're gonna really rank them 1. But once they get to playoffs, they didn't.
Well, yeah, it's like the last year for us. The team that we played in the first that was ranked number 1 and then played nobody and won every game like 8-0.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You gotta watch the game. I think you gotta watch the games. I think I've learned so much from the beginning of high school how I used to talk about it. I still think club version is always going to be a high expectation of high level competitive, obviously, like for the most top tier teams in youth club, as opposed to high school. I still think high school has a chance to be competitive, but again, it goes down to the people that are invested into to making it help invest competitive. You know, like from the people like having an Instagram or having recognition to make these players feel like, well, no one's fucking watching me. Why am I going to play this high school? Or you know, like again, I'm a put him on blast right now. Fonzie, I'm pretty sure he's like, fuck, they're winning. I want to play.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's like, I want to play, coach. Like, but it's like, Joe, bro, like you could have been on the team, like you decided, you know. So, but I'm sure he's seen those things, right? Yeah. And obviously, he's at the school. Like, I kid you not, there was no Instagram, and he would just hear from his buddies and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing that I think. I don't want to get too much into it, but like just the things that could help elevate these high schools, especially in the soccer program, to get just a better recognition of competition. But again, it's tough because people are like lazy. They're so like people just don't want to get the effort of like understanding like it doesn't happen overnight. So like if for example, I know there's people like they look at like a school that never really wins. I'm not gonna name names, but like a school that never has won in the past 8 years and they're always losing almost every. It's like who wants to go there and be like they're gonna be like they really gotta waste time to do Instagram for this team.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It has to start somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The same with you. Like that's what I'm trying to see, and hopefully people understand what I'm saying. Is that when you got there and took over, again, our school was kind of the same. It was always up and down. It was always up and down. Like there was never a consistency of like, oh shit, they're legit. Like when I used to play sports or in high school football, like I knew that the South Hills was the shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we can't play them because they're division. They got legit players.
Yeah.
And like, that's how it felt. The prestige of like understanding that. And now it's more like, oh, okay, that guy's on my club team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we play together.
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's a matter of like who's gonna win.
Yeah.
You
Basically,
know?
yeah.
So to see that and to see the lower kind of schools that don't put effort and get competitive players, it's like, yeah, like it has to be built.
Yeah.
You can't do it overnight. And that's the thing that I keep saying. It's like there's a time frame that's going to get to a point.
Oh yeah.
I give big credit to I keep forgetting his name. Baldwin Park coach.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he got there before you. Way
Oh yeah, he was there way before.
Did he get you there when you were still in high school?
Yeah, he was there when I was still in high school.
Right.
He
So
was
like,
the coach when I was still in high school.
I don't remember exactly when. I think I started.
He was there. I think when you were around.
I think he got there after. I want to say he got there
because
after.
he coached some of the kids that you played with at Bassett. I remember because
his brother was at Cerro Vista. The one I played with, his brother. If I'm totally right, and he went to Baldwin Park. You know what? I think he just got there when I was finishing.
Yeah,
it was probably my senior year.
Because there was a couple kids I remember that they've mentioned that I met somebody at the school and told me, "Oh yeah, those are my nephews." And I was like, "Wait a minute, those are your nephews?" Like my brother played with them, and they was like, "Yeah, like they were here when he started here." And I'm like,
okay.
Oh, okay. I was like,
So
that's
then
how long he's been there? I was like,
he's been there about 15, 16 years.
Yeah, he's been there for a good
So what I'm
while.
saying is like I started noticing them and him winning towards, again, I missed, I didn't really care too much after before you weren't there. Like,
yeah.
Once I left high school, I really cared
yeah.
about the soccer team as much. So I don't know his time there. I don't know how many, but when I noticed more is when you were playing, obviously, because I was around him more. So, but I want to say that it took him a good amount of time to get to Division III.
Oh yeah.
Like I think he's the only school that I know from coming to the same area from 10 minutes away from Northview to build a program that it took him maybe 16 years to get to Division III.
Yeah.
Like I still think to this right now when I saw that I was like, wait, they're Division III.
Yeah.
Like I've never thought of any school from that lower tier get all the way to the top, meaning like they can go all the way to Division I apparent until some point. The way the system is now and the way that goes. But what I'm saying is like I know that those type of people like him and you, like they don't think it's gonna happen overnight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the process and the build and the longevity where it's gonna go. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like if people in these high schools get those type of people to be a part of that program, I think competition can be more exciting. It could be more exciting and more attractive to these players that don't play like Fonzie, like a guy that's like in club and academy and sees that. So like if a team like the lower schools and have that, they're gonna get players like, oh wow, they get recognition. Maybe I want to go play.
Yeah,
it's that easy. But again, it's effort.
Of
effort
course.
of someone being like, yeah, I'm gonna go see if I can turn the school around just by Instagram and showing it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because obviously that's our newspaper now, and that's how that's how everything is, and that's how people see things. So that was just my just trying to get my point across on that. But yeah, I mean, 9 years.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
No, it's not. I mean,
nothing is.
Yeah, I don't think anything ever is. It's. I had a thought about something, kind of lost it a little bit there for a second. Oh man, what was I gonna say?
It happens.
Jesus Christ.
Brain fart.
I really forgot what I was gonna say. But oh no, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's just it's and that's the thing I've noticed, because even with our school, our football team, Perez, the coach, he's been there now as the head coach
that's
probably
more than 10.
Probably more than 10 also.
Way before you.
Yeah, actually more before me, because when I was in there, he became the coach. Because I was junior, senior year, somewhere around there.
Did he? Because I was fine at least a little bit of the football team. I remember my coach left right after me, and then there was another coach.
But for them, it was more of like the CIF thing, because they've gone into playoffs. I think one of the years when I was there, they won league. And then I think years after that, they were winning kind of league here and there. So for them, it was just more of finally getting over the hump of being cursed and losing, I think, in every quarterfinal.
Yeah, which was that. That's where I was.
For you too.
Yeah, when I went,
that was like their curse. They could never get past quarter. They would go. They do well in league. But they would never get past quarterfinals. Yeah. So it was more of finally breaking through that, and then I think in the years, maybe about 4 years ago, they finally broke through it and then got to the semis, and then for them it was the curse of never passing the semis, and then they finally last year they finally got to the final. So. But what I've noticed is in high school, I understand some of them, for some of these coaches, a lot of them tend to be teachers, whatever. It becomes temporary at the time because it's like they just want to do it for a couple of years and then they're done.
Yeah.
But for those that are truly passionate about it and really want to make a difference, this is a longevity kind of thing, because I noticed it with him, and then I noticed it with Rice in tennis. He started that. He
was there when I was there.
He wasn't even. He was the boys coach for like a long time, and their boys program's gotten better. He took over the girls, I'd say about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe even more. Honestly, maybe more. No, I want to say it was 5 years ago. He took over, and the girls program was, sad to say, like a disaster. Like the girls were just going, they would barely even get girls to want to do tennis. But he brought in a culture and a dynamic in the sense to compete, and it's like. It took years to do, where he finally won a CIF. Yeah. Their first ever. Not only that.
For soccer.
Not even that. He gave them their first ever playoff appearance, which was like a couple years ago, which wasn't even unheard of for them. And I can't remember if he won league. I think he did. But when I heard about the playoff thing, I was just like, wow, like this program's been here forever and like never got anything close to that. But it just shows like the determination and like the will for some of these coaches that really want to be part of these programs. Like it tells you it's not something again that's going to happen overnight. This is something that you just have to build and build a foundation of a culture and a dynamic for kids to come in the future. Because with soccer, like for us, when I played, it felt like everybody thought they were the shit. Everybody that was on that team always thought they were better than the guy next to them.
Really?
That's how I felt. That's why I didn't play my senior year, because I just got sick of it. Like it wasn't fun anymore for me. Like it was just like I'm putting in the effort to go and play and really try to do something, where the guy next to me is just like there just to be there and thinks he's better than everybody and doesn't really have to put forth the effort. So that's why I just hate. Like I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna waste my time. We don't win anything. We never get to playoffs. Like we're just playing games just to play. I'm like, and I don't want to do that, because I came from club.
That was the time your club was getting.
I came from club from the mentality of playing. You're playing to win and playing to go win a championship, which is what we go into tournaments, all those things. So when I did that, I was like, for me, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, because it's like you guys are not in the same mentality that I am.
Right.
So then when I came back, obviously for coaching, that's the first thing I wanted to change, was the dynamic of the program, to say, you are here to compete. Yeah. You are not here to just have fun and just think you're going to get playing time. Right. Like everyone's going to play. No. My best players are going to play. Don't care if you're a freshman. Don't care if you're junior, senior, sophomore, whatever. My best players are going to play. And if you
it should be.
And if you don't like that, you got to work for it in order to get
If you don't like it, you could leave.
Yeah. So it's like, that's what it was. And sure enough, over time, that's what it became and built. And that's what it is. And that's what I've noticed too. Like even when I talked to Rice with his tennis program, he said when he came in that these girls were just like thinking, I'm going to go in and just have fun and hit the ball around. And he goes, no.
It's funny. Yeah. You're sorry to cut you off, but it's funny. It's like what movie? It reminds me. It's like one of those movies. Oh, like The Waterboy.
Yeah.
When they're on that shitty team.
Yeah.
And so, shit, we got the Waterboy now. So, and they put the effort in, right?
Yeah.
They put the effort in, like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Like something good's going on. So it's kind of like that feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I don't want to lose this thought too, because like how you said how you were when I was playing, it was more of we didn't have a coach.
Yeah.
Because when Caesar was playing, he had good players.
Yeah.
And I felt when I was around that team, just watching them, it felt like they wanted to play together because they were always playing the streets together, playing Sunday leagues together, and they're like, oh, we're good enough. It's just they didn't have a coach where my dad had to come in and tell him what to do and how to win a game.
Yeah.
And he did that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Where he was like, hey, Mr. Chavez, what should we do?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, don't listen to this guy in Spanish. Don't listen to any fucking shit. Don't listen to any shit he's saying. This is what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then my dad's like, what'd you tell him? Oh, just to try hard and do stuff like keep going and win the game. But yeah, no, like again, when I played, it was just like, again, me and our cousin Josh, he was legit. It was just like and when I played, it just felt more that we had the players.
Yeah.
But the just coach had no clue. That's why I even stopped. Like how you said you stopped your senior, it was more like I'm trying, but like this coach is not giving me a development or understanding. It's more of like he's just being some type of coach.
Yeah.
You know, because at those times, again, when me and Steve, there was no legit soccer coach, and I think you're a legit soccer coach to have the knowledge, understanding how to play a certain position, what the dynamics are, and what the awareness is in these positions. And it was more back then. It was just like, all right, just make sure you pass the ball forward, and let's just get forward, and score the goal. Yeah. And it's like, all right, dude, you're not really teaching me anything to get the player. So, and I was doing my best ability from coming from like my club to this, and you feel the difference, like you said, when you're at club to that time and era. When I was playing, it was like, that's why I kind of like maneuvered it. I don't want to say I regret it or say it was like a buzzkill for me, because I moved to football, and in football at that time for me, they actually taught me things to be a better, because I never thought I was going to play football and go even to college to play football. I was like, wait, like if I'm good enough, you're telling me this because there's something there. Yeah. And you're teaching me those things because you know those things, as opposed to like, hey man, just be good, do your thing out there, and I will win. Yeah. You know? So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to cut you off.
No.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think our times were different, and from looking at this team now and even the past teams, like I think it's evolving, and like you said, from Coach Rice, and for people to come in and really have an understanding of the sport that they know, as opposed to thinking they know, the idea of what they think they know how to do this. I think it does take the knowledge and the effort. But again, it's always going to go back to like, you can't expect it to just click it overnight and win everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's to me personally, if that happens, and it has happened, to me, I just feel like someone was placed as a sub and everything was going in right, and he was just there. Yeah. Like a luck thing. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's more luck when that happens, when someone just comes in the first 2 years and you're like, oh shit, you won it all? I mean, you had the best players there and nothing didn't really change, as opposed to like coaches that just leave and understand, like, I haven't won in 3 years. Like, they don't want to put the effort and extra. And then it goes into like even deeper stuff, probably where the school's not even invested. Yeah. Where they don't even want, so it's like, it is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Because like there's schools that I'm looking at now that we've played in the past that were really good and consistently good, but now no one's there anymore in the terms of like wanting to go coach that school, and the team's a disaster. Yeah. Like they're just really bad, you know. And I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm like, what? Like the schools that somebody that I play that are like an earshot away from us, and like if anything, a house over, it's like this house goes to my school and that house goes. It's like, how are we getting these kids? But yet they're getting like the really raw end of the deal, these kids. And it's like, I feel bad at times because I'm like, I'm doing my part on my end, but it's like, I want them to be competitive also, because it's like, we're all within the same city.
Well, here's my theory. If we're going to go off of that, this is my theory. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not saying this is true. Just from leaving high school and again, being around you and occasionally dabbling in my old football a little bit here and there of the schools, and just even watching old movies and old documentaries of high school people, like just high school back then and like the eras. I think just also the way the community is set and built, of the understanding of investment in certain programs. Like you said, when you walked in that locker room, there was like records up there. Yeah. That was a thing. That was an actual thing, like in the 70s of like, you see my name up there, that's me. Like there was like the just the mongrel football player, like that's me. Like now it's like, yo, that's just letters up there. Yeah. Again, going to this paper, it's just text there. Yeah. Like you have to watch these games. You have to watch what these competitive players are doing. But the thing is, and again, I haven't met him. Hopefully I will eventually before the season's over. Your assistant principal, where he feels more invested of like, hey, you need goals.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It takes certain people. And what I'm going to, it takes more than one person to do everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know that. The way you want to champion. It takes a team.
That or
Literally,
what's that frame? It takes a village to something, to build a community or something like that. There's a saying that goes. I'm sorry, there was just a saying that
similar. I get
that's a cliche saying.
Yes. So obviously, the point is that one person can't do it all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You need this person, and then the fact that if that person is saying like we're going to be invested into helping you, and that's the thing. Like kids will recognize in some way like, oh shit, we got new goals. Oh shit, we got new this, and then they ask, how would you? Oh, assistant principal. Oh, these people in general are going to feel some type of way when they're rewarded off of good things.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily just off of good things, but rewarded off of understanding that there's people invested in another human being to exceed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with some of these high schools. I'm not saying it's money issues. Again, I don't know the dynamics. It could be. But if there's effort in there, little by little, it'll get to a certain point.
Yeah.
Because I think from the beginning of what you said until now, again, it's changed. That last game, there was a lot of people there. There's been a lot of people when Ronaldo. I remember Ronaldo was playing, and when he went to the CIF, there was a lot of people in certain games.
I think the wrestling girls were even there watching us.
There was what's the names? I think his team went and go watch the kid you trained, Asher.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I turned around.
There's like 8 of them that came.
I turned around. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah. I just asked her, do you guys come from practice? Yeah. I was like, you brought the whole team?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why not? I was like, all right. I was like, you just want me to be both? They're like, no. I was like, Asher, I was like, no, he got it. I was like, all right. It was pretty funny how he told me. He's like, no, he got it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
people that were there, because going off of that, like, I noticed that at halftime, a group of, I think it was girls that just like got it. It was like there were a whole section on the bench. They got up and left, and I think I made the realization like maybe a couple days later, that it was the wrestling team, and I'm like, because at first I was like, who's all that leaving? First I was thinking it was basketball girls, but then I found out, or I remember that CIF had the girls wrestling dual stuff at the same day, right after us. But I think the girls were first, which was like around 5, or if anything, I think they were later. I can't remember. But yeah, even that, when I saw that, I'm like, they would have never came to our games before. Like that would just never even be a thought of, But like, yeah, everybody was there, and then it just gave me the vibe again of the last time that ever happened, which was when we played Baldwin Park to try to win the league also. But back then everyone was a lot closer because there was no fans and we had grass field and it was all.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
But this one, everybody was alongside the fence and people were trying to get. I was like, nope, get out.
I think I saw
get out. I was like, I don't want anybody near us. Get out. Yeah, so people were trying to get into on the track. I was like, nope, back away. Go back where you came from. You are not coming in here right now.
Yeah.
So it was a massive, massive crowd. And even parents were like I think the next day or afterwards, texting me about it. And like nobody was sitting there. It was such a good game. It was so intense. It was so entertaining. Like it was just amazing to watch and this and that. I was like, well, thank you. I don't know what else to say from that, but it was just great, to know that what we've been able to do and accomplish is, like I said, these guys and these boys have gotten the recognition they deserve in terms of the attraction and people wanting to come and just watch. Because even then I saw people on the other side starting to go sit on the sun side. I was just like, Jesus, like sitting there in the sun in your face for like good 2 hours. I'm like, man, some people can do it. I guess I wouldn't. So, and then even people were like outside the fence on the street side. I saw a couple people watching this, walking by and watching. I'm just like, all right, well, the more the merrier, man.
What's going on over there?
Yeah, like literally, that's what it was. They're just walking by. Oh, something's going on here. There's a lot of people.
That's soccer. But yeah, all in all, I just think the system of high school has a potential, but it just takes the people to put in the effort and giving that recognition to these kids to understand and make them feel a certain type of way that is earning and is deservable. Like they deserve this.
Yeah.
Because again, my days, it was like, in my day, it kind of felt like that. The thing is, the reason why I kind of switched over to football because of football got the recognition, made you feel that you were doing things good at the sport you play, even though we suck because it's football. That's the sport here, right?
Yeah.
And and when I played soccer, like I said earlier, it's like I forcefully had to tell my friends like, hey, I did this, I did that, and they were just like, but it's soccer. You know, it's like, it's soccer, man. It's soccer. Look, we're down 2 points, man. It's soccer. Hey, man, go piss your pants again. It's like 8 years ago.
People don't forget.
I mean, but that's how it was back then. But again, I see it, and I think I gotta give you the credit of, again. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this, but it's the build up. It's the build that from the first day you got there till now. To see all those people, and again, I don't want to sound cocky or narcissistic, but yeah, like I think when you said you saw the girls of wrestling there, like I also think that these kids understand, like the players they have on the team, they understand like we're good, and we want to showcase that too, where they're reposting what I post.
Yeah.
And I don't have the followers. That's why I'm telling you to fucking post. Have people to come. If there's like, oh, well, that's what it's there for. Yeah, but if someone else posts something and they're like, wait, what is this? Why does he keep posting this?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just like, oh, okay, I'm going to go watch. And literally, I think some of those things, it works. People will be like, oh, I know him. I'm going to watch. Or like, oh, okay, it's today. Like, again, if like you said about Rice, I was like, I didn't say this when you were talking about it. I was like, Rice has Instagram now. I was like, he was following us. I saw it. I was like, dude, just look at the Instagram. You know? But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it takes everyone.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if those kids didn't do it and didn't care, it's just like, well, what are we really doing here? You know? And yeah, I mean, I think all that implies, and again, it's a matter of just the people surrounded. And I think moving forward, from my point, I think obviously it's always a good thing to win league and build off of it, and hopefully have an even more successful future for the team and years to come. Which I think, you know, everything comes with struggle too. You know, we see it in the pros, we see it in everything. It's like, you know, it's just maintaining it. And again, if the assistant principal is dedicated, that's cool. Like everything that you told me, like he's gone out of his way to get the goals and hopefully more, and hopefully you guys get to play at night next season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like those type of things. Like it depends. You know, like how. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm honestly, when I was at there, I always wanted to play at night.
Yeah,
just knowing that there's like, oh, we get to play in a stadium, but because obviously that field that you guys played on was just a dead track field. There was nothing there, right? When we used to play.
Oh, yeah.
There was no stands. There was no friends. There was nothing new.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. The small intimacy of having people like that, I think makes that well, too.
Oh, yeah. Because when it's just scattered, a little bit more on, they're a little bit, I want to say, like, yeah, they're just a little bit more on top of you. Like, you're just so much
like
closer.
Almost like the Premier League, right? Like
you just feel the energy a little bit more.
Right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, it's also the fact that it's not a big stadium where it's all scattered.
Yeah.
That it makes that energy closer and intimate. So, like, I wouldn't mind if you guys, I think it's just more like, hey, just get lights. Like if they could, like if I would ask the guy, like just trying to find a way to get lights, or if that, I don't know, because I think that day and having that many amount of people, I think it would have felt way different if it was at district.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because like you said, there's kids that just walk over.
Yeah.
Like those girls. Yeah. They couldn't walk all the way over to the stadium, to district field. Yeah. So I think in some way, it's a very good thing to still play there. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. It's just a matter of like, again, this is like future stuff and more thinking of like building and building them around more where like the lights come in. But then again, like it's that's just later on. But like I think that moment in that day was just somewhat perfect of the whole moment because again, everything was just there. People will walk over and enjoy what just happened. As opposed to like going to district field. But again, and I think you said this before off the podcast, that your players feel like they want their friends to just come on instead of driving all the way to district field. Yeah. You know, because like, I mean, there's a good amount of people at district field when they go watch, but then again, the people that can't just walk over is not going to walk all the way over there. Yeah. So that gives them more of like, at least in my personal experience, if I saw that many people at my game, I would feel good about this. Meaning like, oh shit, there's more people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, just to
they enjoy that, and it's and there's like give and take on both aspects because like I asked them this, you know, they kind of brought that in at one point, but then they also like the district field because what they like is the locker room.
It's like all new. It's just there.
Well, not that it's new, but it gives them the sense and feel of a professional.
Right.
So they enjoy being like secluded from everybody.
Yeah.
And being in that locker room, sitting down, putting their gear on, putting everything, and then like, I don't know what it is for me or for or this works or for anybody, but it's like the sound of your cleats just clack,
Walking out.
It's
like pros almost.
It's just a whole different like.
I get it.
Sound. It's just a whole different feeling. So like they get that, and then on top of that, it's like the walkway out
into a stadium
is like. You just have that presence and feel, it's like it's a completely different. So that's why the kids like that. They enjoy that. That's why I always try to get the locker room open for them, because if we just go there and just set up our stuff like anybody other team, it's like it's just a different feeling,
like a club feeling.
Yeah, so it's like club. So when they go into the locker room, put their stuff down, they're in there, they're secluded from everyone, and you don't see anything but other than your teammates, and you're getting your gear on, and you just hear guy with this song or the songs are playing, and you hear people getting ready. And then you kind of like get it together. The pregame talk goes in, and then we all go out in the warm up. It's just a whole different mindset. So they like that. So we're like I said, it's a give and take, because you don't get that at the high school, but you get that other atmosphere. You get that atmosphere, the crowd and the energy and that. Whereas the other one, you get more of that kind of professional setting, because it's like you're secluded from everyone. You're just there, here and there. You're not even close to anybody around you, and it's. Which in the sense is a professionalism, because even in like if you look at it like, yeah, the fans are going and obviously it's loud or whatever, but it's like in the sense that you're still kind of secluded from everybody, because it's you against that team, and that's what it is. But yes, everyone else has eyes on you. Yeah. So it's somewhat similar. It's just I think it get to that point in the future eventually, if obviously the program grows more and more, parents more involved. There are a lot of people will become more involved. People want to come and watch all that stuff, because I'm sure it's like that with football, because every Friday night, that's the place to be. Like the kids. I remember just going to the football game just to go hang out and not even watch the football game, because that's what people want. That's what kids want to do. Yeah. So it's like that alone, it brings in more, at least 10, 20, 15 other kids that just want to at least be there, and it just, the atmosphere and all that stuff. So I think eventually at some point, I'm hoping that will be the thing for soccer, for this program, because the kids love it. They enjoy it. It brings more out of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, so what's next? CAF.
Yeah,
you find out
Monday
or Tuesday.
Monday, because Tuesday is the girls wild card. Wednesday is the boys wild card, and we play Friday.
So Monday you find out everything, the bracket.
Yes, every
where
team
set up.
Yep, where everyone is set up, wild cards, everything, and then basically what our path will be. Like who if we have a team that we're playing first, we're playing them first, or if we have a wild card team that's going to be placed into where we're at, because it just depends on the division and how they want to. Because there's divisions where it's like 2 wild card teams are in and everyone else is lined up. Then there's a division where it's like
that's right.
Every team has a wild card team, and every wild card team is playing somebody to get into the first round.
I think that's your division. That's how it was last time.
I can't remember. I have to double check, but I feel like there's been one I've seen like that, and I want to say it's either 6 or 5, and it's probably ours.
I think it's only like 2.
Because there's a few.
I think it's 6 and 5.
Yeah, and then there's another, and then the highest one. Division 1, the first and second, they get a bye week, and then they go to the second round, and then everybody plays, and then they go.
So it looks like you're not wild card, so it looks like it's 5 more games. The 5th,
the 5th is the win, the final. 4 to win to get to the final.
Gets you that $50K.
Yeah.
Cotton.
I feel shocked. It's just not believable, Cotton.
I was talking to them in the locker room, and they really want to win this one.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh man, you gotta pay for stuff like that.
But yeah, so that's
okay. And this is what I want to ask. You feel? I mean, I think so. I think you could feel or sense that. Obviously, it's gonna be tougher, and teams are gonna be similar to the last game.
It's gonna be tougher.
It's a playoff.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy.
Nothing is.
Because I've been here before multiple times. And once you get into playoffs, everything goes out the door. I mean, everything you've done in the past, every game, ranking, goals, everything goes out the door. Starts over.
It's a new season.
It's literally
day
one.
It's a different season. It's a new season of like win or go home.
Yeah, because you're playing a team that you can't go off of what they've done in their league or their goals against, because
the matter of
their mindset, just as much as yours is, we need to win.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Like everything we've done in the past, we need to win today. If we don't win today, we're done. That's it. It's over. And I mean, like I said, we've been in those situations many times, especially wild cards, first rounds. We've been in that situation many times, and we've beaten teams that we weren't even expecting to compete with, and we've lost in situations where, unfortunately, we shouldn't have lost, but they were challenging games, and it just didn't go our way during those times. So it's nothing new to me, but it will be something new to. Actually, no, it won't even be new to these guys because majority of them were here last year, and they kind of know what's at stake and what's at hand, and so it's all kind of going full circle in the sense because these guys understand the task and have the experience in the sense of what to expect and all that. So it's just a matter of having the right mindset and who's gonna really come out and perform.
True.
So. We'll see.
Well, league champs, TIF should be interesting.
It will be interesting because again, like anything can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the top teams, and it's like great. They're top teams, they're solid teams, but
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
You said last season we saw that. You guys beat the number 1 team in the whole seed.
Yeah.
And then got knocked out the next one.
Yeah.
Which is like anything can happen.
And the team that won it all
was a
wild card team.
And a co-ed team? Did they have a girl on the team?
No, that wasn't the wild card team. They were in the final. They lost.
Oh, they lost.
The team that won it all was a wild card team.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I remember you said that.
But the team they faced was a co-ed team.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know until you showed me. I was like, oh, wow. I was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I was having this conversation with one of the coaches that last year was just more of who can stay healthy and limp their way all the way through because everybody was getting knocked out. Everybody's getting beat because, all the higher level teams were getting knocked out and getting beat because they had all the club players. And all the club players were also playing at the same time. So all the lower end teams that don't generally go far, that don't have club players, were doing well because none of them had to go play every weekend. They all just had the high school during those weeks. And then the weekends they'd rest where I had players that literally played 7 games in a week, like in a span of 5 days.
But I think that was a different set because it was later on the year, right? Last season? Because of COVID. It was pushed back 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Which was, the club didn't care. Club just started again.
No, club was already, I think, going into season towards the beginning of winter. Yeah, because I was doing my club teams around the beginning
but
of winter.
But when you went to CIF,
we were well into the season.
Right? It was already in there like that. Yeah. So I think it was just a matter of what is it? The timing of the club when it was going, they were just simultaneously crossing each other, right?
Yeah.
But all right, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else. What else we got?
I mean, we just basically talked about my whole high school season.
Which I mean, that was the most. That was the whole point of today's podcast, I think, because I don't really want to get into Manchester right now.
Nah, we don't have to get into that. We're well into an hour and almost 45 now.
And no, I think right. And I think I didn't want to talk certain dynamics of high school soccer because, again, from the beginning you started to now, and just the dynamics of like the surroundings of it, and still that to dissect how this all goes, and like, again, I think it put me in a different perspective from the time we first thought about high school, even though you got into high school and scored. I mean, coached.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from one of the guests that we had that even kind of like, not, I want to say blew my mind, but like surprised me of how he got his scholarship and how Danny Trejo got because of high school.
Yeah.
As opposed to being club and club, you know? Yeah. So again, I just find things intriguing when it hits me different. Like it's like, oh wait, we finally won. So it's like, what is the dynamic and how did we get here, and what were the things that possibly help? What are the things that could be better to put this level up to compete? And again, like to see that many people at that game was something for me. It just looks really special. It looked really legitimately special where it just felt good to see that many people there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even it's funny that we even mentioned this. Even your players there know, if anyone knows, there was college coaches there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There's college coaches that actually went to go watch, and that's even cool. Again, to me, that was always the thing when I played in high school. It's like, who's watching? Is there a college coach? And like, ask my coaches, anyone like at least, I don't know, Citrus or like what schools are on? It doesn't matter. Like somebody came to watch you is interested in possibly playing further.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those type of things. And to be able to, it's funny. I just feel like almost every element was in place.
Yeah.
From coaches watching to fans and parents to the game itself, all the way to the end. I think it was a good season finale.
Yeah.
Season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, now it's brand new season, brand new everything. Everything's out the window. Okay, we're champs now. We did our celebration. It's go time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a matter of like now 5 more games. There's a reason why it's just 5 games because it's a lot harder.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, it's a lot harder to get to the 5th one.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm excited. I'm gonna try my best to be at the games I can be.
Yeah. Right.
But I think in my feeling, I think it's possible. I think it's more, again, to finish off, I think, in my opinion, I think looking back at the 9 years you had, just the fact that they won, in my opinion, makes this the best team you've had. The first team that you had that went far, there were some legit athletes there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were good. And I'm trying to see how that game would be against each other. And I still think it'd be a tight-knit game and a competitive. I just can't say who would win that game.
Yeah.
Because they were both that good, but each one was a different time. It was like 8 years ago apart, right?
Yeah.
And the one that you first had, it was like the competition was pretty well-rounded around, around that league. I'm not saying this league is not good and this time around. What I'm saying is that the competition, the quality of kids from those two different teams, it just felt like a different time era. It's 8 years apart. Like, what team right now, other than Bayern Munich, is still the same for 8 years in a row?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course.
So, in my opinion, I'm going to give the edge. I'm comparing your two teams right now. Is that I'm going to give the edge no matter what happens after that going into CIF, that this team is the best team, even with less games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the other team had like 17 games in total with CIF.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, they had great players. But I think looking at this team, just to be close, I think because I was way more closer around, even from last season, that I saw what you meant about this team's closer. This team's really a tight-knit group where they wanted something. Even though, like, at times where, like, both teams, I never really felt the big, crazy energy of, like, focus. Like, sometimes I was at the game, and I'm not saying you guys would feel flat. It was just, like, I just don't think certain kids nowadays get really hyped up.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still focused in.
Yeah.
Inner self. Like, not like hyped up like in football, like banging on the walls and shit. But I think the edge is obviously that that game is what put it over the top. Again, I can't tell you who would win if it was simultaneously. I think this team would get them. But again, I can't. That's not even 100% on me. Like, I don't know. Like, would you honestly? I don't want you to compare your teams right now if you don't want to. But like,
No, I will.
I don't know how do you feel about these two teams?
The only reason why I still feel either. I don't know if either one in the sense I could feel definitive win. The only reason being is that the first team that I first had,
which was your second season ever,
I would say is a more physical team. Physical team in the terms of being able to be body, just physically. And that's what that's what helped them outbeat some teams sometimes, just physicality wise. Because there was a team that wasn't really, not saying that this team's afraid of it, but they just weren't really that scared of being physical and really going in for the challenge and really trying to win balls and really just try to push through the pain and stuff like that. This team is a more technical finesse team in the terms of, not saying that they're not physical, but their technique, the technical ability and just form of how they play together is more of a group as opposed to with them. It's not saying they were individuals with the other group. It was just, I feel like they were just more rock and roll and just like really just come at you and just really get in your face and just, punch you in the mouth. Where here it was just more of like poetry in motion, as you could say it.
That's well put it.
because it's because not again. I'm saying they're not physical because I got my physical players in this team, but it was more of they were a collective. They're a collective group in the terms of they play together and understand each other in the terms of the game plan and the gameplay. Like if we had to adjust or change something, it was like they would be understanding. Whereas the other one, it was like there would be game plans where we had to change, but the style and mentality was the same. Be physical, be aggressive, that kind of deal. With this one, it's like, okay, if we got to change something, it's like, okay, now we got to play a little bit more physical. Or if we don't have to be physical, let's be more connecting and this and that. Like they just have a bit of a more dynamic in the sense on how to change the game and change their play style. Whereas the other one, it was like that's the play style, but if we change something, it's still the same play style, and but we'll still be successful with it. So that's why I don't know if I can really give the edge on either one because both of them have the top goal scorers in their time.
Yeah, they do.
And
right.
both for me have the best defenders in their time also because I have the twins that were there and then my center back and my other center back were probably the back four was probably one of the best back fours that I've had then to the back fours that I have now. They're both similar. And both goalkeepers, I'm not saying they're bad or anything or they're great. I would say they're simultaneously almost the same because they just didn't get a lot of action because my back line was so good. The only edge I think I can give, and I don't even know if I can give the edge because both middles were just as good. And that's what I'm saying, like because this middle is very technical and finesse. The other middle had a technical player, but very aggressive middle, like very physical middle.
It sounds almost like the same team.
It's almost the same team, but it's like
I'm just giving the edge because the league. And
no, yeah, you can give them the edge on that, but I'm just saying like because I know that.
Like, no, the way you're putting it sounds similar.
Because I know them and I obviously remember every individual on the team. There's a lot of similarities, just a lot of similarities.
The way you're putting it.
The only difference I may see is that I think the first team is probably faster in terms of speed going forward, whereas opposed to this one where they build and like I said, they're more finesse. The other one like is just rock and roll, get it and go, but still if be able to make it not just kick it and go forward, but like they're just quick on the ball and just getting it forward and just getting into your face right away. Where this one, it's like they build and they get there, but it was just a lot nicer. That's all it was. So that's why it's in. Like I don't know, I wouldn't know because that team had the top leading goal scorer. This team has the top leading goal scorer.
So hold on, you're right. It's literally simultaneous. It feels simultaneously and almost opposite.
Yeah,
that team beat Ball and Park. This team tied Ball and Park.
Yeah,
that team went pretty far. This team won league.
Yeah.
So it kind of is simultaneously on the opposite side.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. So that's why it's hard to I
is.
I can compare them.
That's what you're telling me. The way you're telling me, yes, it's starting. The way you're putting it, it is giving me that vibe that they're pretty neck to neck.
Yeah, they're right there together. So it would be cool to like. I mean, they do that. I mean, everybody does this with all the teams, the professional teams and everything. But it's like it's to finally because you hear it and you just always wonder, but to be actually part of it. And really think about it.
Now you know what they're saying, right?
Yeah, like it's interesting.
I get it.
Because it's like, and that's why there's some people like, no, there's not. Like, there's always a debate. But for me, it's like, I don't know if I can pick one because I know them. I've coached them. I've seen what they're all capable of doing. I've seen their full potential. And it's like, I think this guy could beat this guy, but then this guy could beat that guy, and then this guy can't beat that guy, but that guy could beat that. It's just like, it's just how it is.
And you had two different formations.
Yeah. Two completely different formations.
Yeah, now that I remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I gave this team 1-0. If it was playing at the same age, right?
I honestly, I feel like
I just gotta pick one. You don't have to, but you don't.
I just
feel
like they would tie. I still feel like I feel like they would both score, but I just feel like it would be a tie.
You know what?
I'm not saying neither one would score. That's the thing. I think they would both score on each other. I think they are both capable of scoring on each other, just because of again like the way they both play. So it's just because
now I'm like, all right, give me play-by-play. How would this formation go against Coffee and your back? How would what's his name, Adrian? How would he run through the? I don't know, Toffee and him one-on-one. I don't know.
I don't know either because Adrian's fucking quick, man. He was so fast. But the thing again is that he was aggressive. Yeah, he was so aggressive. But he was so physical.
Duffy is too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
that matchup.
Yeah, that matchup would be super nice to see.
Duffy, if you're watching, I'm pretty much saying you're pretty legit.
Yeah. So.
No,
it'd be
thinking.
cool.
That's really
No, it'd
interesting
be
now
cool.
to think about it.
It would be really
Like
cool. to see.
obviously we never thought about this. It
No,
just
yeah.
came out right now. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
How would that be?
Yeah, it would
Like
be.
how
cool.
would Andy be against that back line?
Yeah,
Or
because
how would-
the center back for us at that for the with Adrian and all those guys, the center back was fast but very technical,
Yeah.
and he was very smooth. He's similar to what Cruz is. He's physical, but he's very smooth on the ball, and that's what Cruz is. Cruz is real smooth and composed.
Because I do remember, and I don't want to take too much time, but I do remember that midfielder you guys called Messi.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he played like Messi. I'm just saying, like, yeah,
No,
I called him that.
yeah.
But when I watched him play, I think I remember more of the game of the Ball and Park game that,
Yeah.
you know, I watched him move around. Like, I
Yeah.
watched that he was doing his thing.
Yeah.
And there's similarities to that too right now, but it just obviously feels so different.
Yeah.
But I can only pick this team because they won. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I can do because no one else won it. But yeah, I don't know, man. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
CAF's coming up. We'll find out Monday.
Monday we'll find out.
I'm pretty sure this podcast will be up by the time the first game's over.
Yeah. I should have it ready by then. Yeah.
Either way, good luck.
Thank you.
I think we'll be okay. Again, it's not easy.
Yeah.
You gotta go game by game, week by week. It's gonna be 1 week game or even 2, right?
It's one Friday, then the following Tuesday, and then Friday, and then the following. I think it's really Tuesday. Sorry, Friday, Tuesday, Friday, and then I think Tuesday, and then Saturday. Something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, the final is usually on a weekend.
Yeah.
Depending on what division they
Yeah.
always pick. All right, is that it?
Yeah.
What else? I mean,
I'm good.
I'm fine. That's what I wanted. First time league.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank
Let's keep
you.
it going.
Yep.
And I guess we're off.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till next time. I don't know. I'm good.
All right, we're good.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.